While most plants in our gardens are done for the season, there is one that is still very active. Here with the dirt is horticulture educator Ryan Pancaw. Ryan, welcome back.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Okay, so it seems like a lot of gardens are kind of starting to fizzle out this time of year, but there's one that's shining.
Yeah, most things are done flowering for the year. Maybe some asters are hanging on or some other plants, but the shrub I wanted to talk about today is witch hazel. And so you'll find it in bloom right now with tiny yellow flowers. We've got some pictures we'll run of that are almost like little bitty fireworks is how I've heard people describe it, where those tiny little skinny, twisty things are the petals. And so you can see the first picture there was some leaves on, but a lot of times the leaves fall off, but it's before it flowers, but pretty rare to have a native shrub flowering this time of year. And, you know, pretty cool and interesting flowering display in your garden right now.
Well, yeah, and these are native to Illinois, yes?
Yeah, some of the pictures we're showing are a non-native variety from Asia, or a species from Asia that actually blooms then in like February and January. So witch hazels are known to just bloom at these weird times of year. They don't follow all the rules of all the other plants.
We like rule breakers, right? Okay, so it's got some interesting fun facts about it that people may not know.
Yeah, some interesting fun facts. One of the things is the name witch hazel, and I never knew where this came from. I always thought it was just kind of an interesting name for the plant, but it comes from witching for water. Have you ever heard of this?
Oh, I have not.
You actually, and I don't know that there's any science behind this.
But it's still fun.
I know lots of people do it, but it's still fun. But you can use, early settlers did this, a forked witch hazel stick and walk around, and if there's underground water, supposedly the stick will guide you to that. Nowadays, I think people do it with metal wires and things. Again, I don't know the science behind it, but it's a fun thing people do, and some people can do it.
Okay.
I don't know how they do it.
Well, maybe we should try that.
Yeah, so that's how it got its name, from witching for water. The other thing is that it has like a really interesting seed capsule that it takes it an entire year to mature. So those flowers you see right now, that were maybe on it last year, flowers from last year, would be maturing right now, and in the coming months they will actually explode and shoot that seed out. And a researcher at Duke University recently documented the speed of that seed capsule is about the speed of a bullet.
What?
It's acceleration as it comes out of that seed pod, so that's super interesting.
How in the world did they catch that? Like, that's crazy.
Really advanced photography. So I heard a podcast that this gentleman was interviewed on, and he talks about how they, the initial photography they got of it was a blur, where they had to keep upping the frames per second until they could get the speed documented, but it's super fast acceleration.
That is. Okay. It's also good for pollinators.
Yeah, great for pollinators because there's not much else blooming right now, so that's a great pollen and nectar source. Bees and flies are mostly what it'll help pollinate, the shallow yellow flowers, but also, during the growing season, it supports some of our moth caterpillars. So like maybe 20 native species of moth are supported by this plant. So great thing to add to your garden. It's going to flower the best in full sun. It can handle almost up to full shade. Not going to grow as well in full shade, but pretty versatile. Can handle a range of different conditions. Probably clay soil's its biggest enemy if you have heavy clay content, but pretty adaptable, tough plant. So one of our native shrubs you can put your landscaping.
Well, very good. You've got a great blog where you update people on all the fun things happening with the horticulture world.
Yeah, definitely. Check out my blog. It's called The Garden Scoop on the Illinois Extension website. Some of my blogs are also ran in the News Gazette locally here.
Nice.
In the Garden is the column that they run in, so check it out.
All right, if you want to learn a little bit more about all of the fun things happening in your garden, no matter the season, there's a look at Ryan's blog, and we will, of course, connect you on our website, CILiving.tv, after today's show.